everybody. Welcome to What Drives Us, episode 144. That's 1, 4, and 4 for June 17th, 2015. My name is Russell Frost, and this week I am privileged to have with me on hosting duties this man.
Hey everybody, it's Danny Cooper from PriusChat.com. Glad to be back. My death was greatly exaggerated last week, so I'm happy, and I'm happy that I could offer Russell such a great segue. And oh my God, we've just been joined by a very white man.
This is the problem with not controlling things with like a control thing. People can just log into our show, and so wow.
Hey, you're the one.
Oh, we lost you, Tony.
Oh, we can't hear him.
He froze, but he looks very. Totally froze.
Hey, you're the one. Let's just make up what he would have said.
That was good. Tony would have said, "Russell's the coolest guy on this show."
Hey guys, I just had a gigantic mushroom and it was delicious. And dessert these roses.
And I'm in Portland, so you know what kind of mushroom that was. Oh, I'm sure the people.
And let's be clear, Tony has AT&T for both his home and his wireless service, so this is pretty much what you get.
Oh, ow. Yeah, his dreadful. Well, the person that we do have with us this week that we can introduce that actually does have some bandwidth is our man in the Northwest. His name is Patrick Connor.
Hello. And yeah, Tony is here in Portland. I've been talking about how great Oregon is so much that he had to come out here and visit. And I'll use some of his time. We went over having dinner last night. And of course, since this is something we share here, we started talking about alternative transportation. And almost as if staged, as this topic comes up, this guy rolls by on a scooter that had, for the front wheel, had a bowling pin, and for the back wheel, it had a bowling ball. This is right out of Portlandia. It was a very odd scene, and Tony, of course, had to go and take the guy's picture and play the tourist. And, yeah, so hopefully we'll share those and we can post them on so you guys can see that this was just not made up crazy stuff. It wasn't the result of mushrooms.
It's the alternative transportation that we come to expect from Portland.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely. Well, welcome back, Mr. Cooper. We didn't say you were dead. We just said you were lazy.
He was under weather, or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Busker got a nice laugh out of me for that one. That was pretty good.
That was good.
I forgot to plug my beer this week. I'm drinking Hell's Bell. It is from a North Carolina brewery from, I think it's from Raleigh. Yeah, from Raleigh. Hell's Bell. A little Belgian style.
I'm drinking flavored water.
Delish.
And I have a Jamba Juice.
Well, there we go.
Around here, Hell's Bells is a AC/DC cover band. All chicks. They rock.
Oh, nice. Great name. I like that.
That does sound good.
And possibly Tony Schaefer, who is on vacation in Portland, as Patrick mentioned, may join us from his phone or from some internet cafe, or who knows, he might just be grabbing digital devices from random other... I gotta get on a show! I gotta get on a show, please. If you're in Portland and a very, very pale man grabs your phone, it's okay, it's Tony. Let's start with 2-minute topics. Patrick, I don't think you have one this week, so we're gonna.
I do.
I'm sorry, you do?
Yeah.
Oh,
we can do Danny's while we find yours.
Then.
Or mine. Well, you find mine. You can.
Then
do
we'll
Danny.
go to Cooper.
Okay. So this week my 2-minute topic is something I just read like 5 minutes before I walked out here to do the show, so I thought it was interesting and something we might want to talk about more in the future. But basically, and just for everybody who's watching the live stream, you can use the Showcase app to follow along the links that we're talking about, just so you know. So first link should show up, and it's the title is Korean Cars Surge in Quality, says J.D. Power. So the J.D. Power initial quality survey, which is I think it rates the number of problems that cars have in the first 3 months of ownership. And this year's list was kind of a shocker. It started out with Porsche, and then the second one, number 2 behind Porsche, is Kia.
What?
A company that I thought would have been like 400th, behind like I don't know, somebody awful. But yeah, they're second now, which is pretty amazing. And Jaguar, who's always been pretty awful as far as quality goes, is now ranked third. And then Hyundai is fourth. So the Korean car companies are really surging ahead.
Wow.
Very impressive. The other thing to take away from this is that the Japanese brands are falling like rocks. There are only 3 included in the top 10, Infiniti, Lexus, and Toyota. Lexus and Toyota were basically matched as far as initial quality goes, which is not a good sign for Lexus, and it doesn't surprise me that Toyota's quality has dropped off in this survey. And Honda is barely above the industry average.
That's so sad.
I wonder how much of it is they've fallen versus the rest have caught up.
Well, and that's what I think that the Korean companies are doing a great job of, and that's, we talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago with, talking about the fact that like Hyundai, and I'm assuming Kia as well, are kind of forging ahead with technology in their cars that other people aren't doing, and in this case, it's Apple CarPlay and Google or Android Auto. They're including those in their cars, while others are kind of hanging back. And what I thought was interesting was that one of the biggest, it says technology has become the industry's big trouble spot. Entertainment and connectivity systems remain the most problem-prone area for a third consecutive year, with voice recognition and Bluetooth pairing continuing to top the problem list. Now, what would be the easiest way for a company to overcome voice recognition and Bluetooth pairing? Offer Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And so companies like Toyota and Lexus are going to continue to drop in this survey as long as they offer their awful systems. At least that's what I took away from it.
Yeah, I agree. We posted a story on our Facebook page this week that someone was accusing General Motors of selling their soul because they were going to work with Apple and Google. And I, just like you're saying, I see it just the opposite, that they're actually getting smart and making a move that they need to make.
Yeah.
I don't understand that argument about turning it over to Apple or Android is giving away your branding or whatever. These companies have partnered with Bose and Pioneer for years. What's the big branding difference?
Bose or Pioneer's logo didn't appear on an LCD screen in the middle of the dash. It appeared on a speaker grill, the lower quarter of the door.
Well, sometimes it's screen printed on the...
Maybe, yeah. I mean, and do I think that's a significant difference?
If they have it as an upsell item, then they can get money for it, and it'll be seen as a premium. I don't see a problem.
I will offer this as a counterpoint, although I agree with your point 100%. And here I'm going to show that I was an art major in college, not a math major, because although I'm with you 100%, there's of course a small percentage of deviation. What sunk Ford a couple of years ago with J.D. Power was using Microsoft Sync, and how much people despised Sync and how bad it was. So that was an example of a company reaching out to a software company to do something for them. Kind of bit them in the ass in the end. Now, I mean, first year and early rollouts and all that, but we've seen bad updates with Android and with Apple products too. But I think the 100% or the 99.9% is that software companies usually make good software because that's what they do. Car
compared
company.
to a car company, right?
Car companies, not so much. Other funny coincidence. My wife just drove down to Florida this week to be with her mother, who was ill, and rented a car to drive down. You know what she drove? No, you don't. Of course you don't. She got a Kia. Is it Sportage or Sportage? I don't know.
Let's make it fancy and call it the Sportage.
Sportage.
How about the Sportage?
Sportage. Um, she got a Kia. It's a crossover SUV. And I got to tell you, she really liked the car. She said it was wonderful to drive. Very comfortable. She's probably the least technical person in the house above the dogs, but managed to pair her Bluetooth device pretty easily without anyone else's intervention, which totally blew me away. So, there's a little anecdotal confirmation.
You know what's funny about that? I've got another little side story. A friend of mine drove her car, her new Toyota Highlander, drove her Highlander accidentally into the side of her garage and had it in the shop to get the door fixed where she hit it. And they gave her a Kia Sorento, which is, I guess, the step above the Sportage. And she she was actually tempted to talk her husband into leaving the Highlander and just keeping the Sorrento.
No!
Wow.
Ouch!
Yeah.
Why would a Toyota dealer give her a Kia?
It was dealers around us don't have body shops anymore, so everything's outsourced.
Oh, okay. So they didn't care.
Yeah, so it's through a third-party rental company. I know this is way past 2 minutes, but I just wanted to
it is.
one more quote. Renee Stevens she's the vice president of automotive quality at J.D. Power. This is one of my kind of money quotes from the article, and that was, quote, "Smartphones have set high consumer expectations of how well technology should work, and automakers are struggling to match that success in their new vehicles. However, we are seeing some automakers make important improvements along the way. What's clear is they can't afford to wait for the next generation of models to launch before making important updates to these systems."
Impression. No?
Who's that remind you of? The people we always harp on.
Yeah. I'm
Golden
driving.
Tune.
Very nice, Mr. Cooper. Well, Patrick, regale us with your 2-minute news, please.
Okay, so this is one we've discussed on the show before, and this is from Green Car Reports. It's an article from yesterday, the 16th. Chevy and Nissan reveal Second Life uses for electric car batteries. And I'll just read a little bit of it here. One of the most common questions about electric cars: what happens to the battery packs after the car is junked? Do they get thrown away? Will they be recycled? What happens? The answer is electric car batteries will largely be recycled, but that will be after they have a second life. And then they go on to say that even after the pack can only store 70% of its original capacity, the point at which it's considered no longer usable in a car, it remains perfectly viable energy storage device for other uses. And then they give examples here where both of these car companies have used these batteries for building backup power and for storage, energy storage.
So that's like
Solar
basically,
energy storage, sorry. Yep, go ahead.
That's basically any battery from a 2013 or below Leaf. 70%.
No, they're not all quite that low yet. If that was what you were trying to say.
It is. Yeah. Poorly executed, but
Nice little jab at the electric car guy.
yeah.
Why would you do that, Danny Cooper?
So since Danny went so long on his, I'll just cut mine off right there.
Oh,
No, you don't have to. Make your point, Patrick.
This is it. Just another article showing that they're still usable and they will be recycled.
so this
Unlike
is similar,
gas, oil that's taken out of the ground and burned and never reused.
This is kind of similar to what we were talking about a few weeks ago with that. Where was it? Yosemite, where Toyota was
Right.
using the old
Yellowstone.
Camry hybrid batteries.
At a ranger station.
Yeah, we found out it takes like what 480 of them or whatever to make a Tesla. Fun stuff.
Does indeed. Well, thanks for those 2-minute news topics. What was that?
I'm getting some echo.
Are you getting some echo? I'm sorry. Let me turn this down a little bit. Any better? No?
I'm not hearing anything.
Because I can actually hear the echo, I think, in Patrick. That's what's weird. Well, we won't mess with that since hopefully our listeners aren't hearing that. Let's start with our first article. An interesting sort of intersection of politics, media, and sustainable energy. The Intercept reported a story today, and basically the story is this: a consulting company which works for energy companies has started a website that is promoting itself as a political website. Wow, I'm sorry, that echo is getting really bad now. Do you any better? No,
Still don't hear it.
Patrick, do you have? Am I on your speakers?
No, I have headphones.
1, 2. Wow, that's 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Here, I'll mute to see if it's any better.
I wonder if it was me because I have my speakers on and I just muted and you said that's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think it's gone now. No, it's back.
Must be me. Well, you guys talk while I find some headphones.
Oh, okay, okay. So we have energy consulting company, basically a lobbying firm, starting a political website called Politic 365. It's promoted as a sort of bipartisan political website that discusses topics, but interestingly enough, a lot of their energy stories tend to be slanted very hard in one direction. This isn't the first time this has happened. There have been several other, at least, sites that have been started as supposedly, nonpartisan or not representing a particular special interest, and only come to find out that the money was funneled through third parties. The odd thing here is that they've been making these arguments that solar power is regressive, that solar power rooftop net metering is discriminates against people of color and against poorer people, so it shouldn't be allowed.
I don't even see how they can make such an argument.
Well, I was just going to say, the facetiousness of that argument, right? The fallacious nature of that argument is obvious because, honestly, then if the point isn't that the solar energy is bad or that net metering is bad, it's that we should subsidize it for people who can't otherwise afford it because it's good. We don't get rid of it, but that's, again, the kind of arguments that these lobbying groups make. They're trying to split off a political interest so that they have less opposition in Congress or in state legislatures so that they can pass laws that favor their business. And this is deceptive and dishonest, and there you go.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. This is a AstroTurf movement. It's they try to look like grassroots, but it's funded and has an agenda. It's not trying to get the truth out. It's just another way to get a marketing message out. And in this case, one where they're trying to find ways to bash net metering. And in debate, you don't get to pick which side. I mean, like in a debate class or whatever, you don't pick which side you're on. You're assigned a side. These guys are assigned a side and then cherry pick reasons to try to support it. And it's horribly done.
Yeah, well said, Patrick. I mean, one of the other issues they're stridently against net neutrality. Oddly enough, they're the company, the shell company behind them, represents Verizon. So, once again, screw it. It's not disappointing. The offensive part of this is they can't come out and make a direct argument. They've got to
Right.
go through something and hide and try to pretend they're making an objective argument when in fact they're not. They're making a crappy argument.
Yeah. So to say that solar is putting more price increases on the poor. Okay. How I get my power change what my neighbor pays? And then they also talk about net metering. If in fact, with solar, when I'm making power, if I'm making surplus, it's spinning my meter backwards. They're selling it to my neighbor next door. It's not going from a generation station miles away where it has losses. It's going right there, spinning their meter forward, and they're paying the utility for that power. And then if I have surplus at the end of the year, the way that Oregon's net metering is set up, that is then given to the utility, and they use it for their low-income program. So if anything, making surplus helps the poor.
But again, the honesty, forthrightness is not necessarily a feature of these websites. It's all about representing a particular interest group and putting their agenda forth so that they can make more money.
Yes. Argument from ignorance.
Hey, Danny, are you back?
I'm back, and can you
Welcome
hear the
back.
echo now?
I can hear no echo. Thank you so much.
Hurrah!
Yay! Because really hearing me twice was just sick. I'm bad enough once.
We don't want to put people through that.
Before we finish with this Intercept article, did you have any parting shots you'd like to make?
No, this is the first time I found out that Patrick was racist, though. So,
Right, I support
Thanks a lot.
solar. Yeah, and therefore I hate the poor.
That's it. Yeah, you hate.
Yeah, see, you might have missed it, Danny, when I was on before. I was talking about how I paid $0 for the solar panels that I just put on. So, that's obviously something that nobody but rich people can afford to do. That.
now,
It's all
how
for the
did you
1%.
do this, rich person? Did you
You do have
Did
to have a house. That
put some
means-
money under the table or something? You have to be certain. Your skin pigment has to be below a certain threshold, I guess.
Yeah, that would not be a viable business model.
Probably not. What, is it a lease model that you have?
Right. Yeah, it's a power purchase agreement, and I'm paying less than I would from the grid. I'm getting solar power, and I had zero out of pocket. Look at that. Russell's got some money.
No.
That was enough to buy as many solar panels as I did.
Was it solar?
I still have that much money left.
Was it Solar City or somebody
Yeah,
else?
it was Solar City. Yep.
What's your kilowatt per hour?
I have a total of 12. It's 9.1 cents, with a slight increase over the life of it. That actually, even at the end of it, is still less than I would be paying. I could have paid 9.7 cents fixed without any increase, but 9.1 with a slight increase worked out to be a little bit cheaper even.
Do you have an option to buy at any point?
At the end of it, yeah, I can
long?
either. They don't say what the price would be at the end of the 15-year term. Yeah, so I have them for 15 years. If anything goes wrong during that time, they take care of it because they own the system. And when I bought panels in 2007, and those I bought, and so I researched them quite a bit. What panels, what rack system, what inverter I was going to get, because I owned it and I wanted to get good stuff. With them, I know that, hey, they own it. If it doesn't make power, oh well, I buy it from the grid instead of them, and so it was a whole lot less hassle, a lot less work for me to just get that.
Wow.
So any kilowatt that's generated from the panels, you pay 9.1 cents for.
Right.
And then what's the grid cost right now?
10.7 cents here.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of savings, but like I said, it's cheaper and I'm getting solar and I paid zero out of pocket. So why not?
And you can feel like your rooftop is doing something instead of just sitting there lazy as hell.
Exactly. Like you last week.
Oh!
Oh, man! Nice one, Patrick. Right.
Man, just taking over for Fusco tonight.
You started it with the 2013 and older leaf.
Sorry. Fine, I take it back.
Oh, okay, I take it back.
Well, speaking of Solar City, some interesting news on Tree Hugger this week. Tesla just bought 500,000 square foot factory that was formerly Cylindra's factory. This is not far from the ridiculously huge, it's 5 million square foot factory, the old NUMMI plant, where they actually produce the Tesla vehicles. No one knows for sure, at least as of the reporting of this article, but oddly enough, this Cylindra factory is right next door to a Solar City factory. So maybe, who knows? Nonetheless, even though Tesla has 5.5 million square feet in the old NUMMI plant, they somehow needed another 500,000 at a slightly different location. And what it's for, it could be for Powerwall, it could be for who knows what, something else. The exciting thing about this, and forgive me if I kind of go a little ideological, is that they're buying factory space. It's 2015 and somebody's buying factory space in the United States. Yay!
Yeah. It's not all just going to rust out and sit there and be unused, and then we all talk about how we really need jobs in America. This is a great move, yeah.
That would be sad, but it's just nice to see somebody at least trying to do something here in the United States, to make something, build something, even assemble parts from other places, whatever. As long as it isn't Disney firing all their American animators and replacing them with H-1Bs from India. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I slip that in? That was horrible of me. That was just terrible. No, of course, they would hire patriotic Americans from the Bay Area, the East Bay.
Did you see the average rent in San Francisco now?
For residents?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, the median rent is...
You want me to guess it?
Yeah, go ahead and guess.
For what? How many bedrooms?
It didn't specify. I think it was just kind of overall.
Let's say 2.
Median rent.
No, wait. There's a huge difference here, though. So I'm going to guess that the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in San Francisco is $2,000.
I can tell you what I read, and I don't know how it.
Oh no, because me and California real estate, we're kind of buddies. And yeah, San Francisco's.
Well, there's already some places that are apparently debunking it. But anyway, what I read was 42.25.
Yeah, that's
wow.
That's. I don't know what that's for. I would be.
It is Zillow's number. It does not include apartments, apparently.
So it's for renting a home?
That's a great question.
It could be. Yeah, I'm sorry, Danny. I mean, I don't mean to ask you questions that aren't in the article because
I just didn't care enough to look at the article that deeply. I was like, $4,200. That's why I'll never live in San Francisco.
Rents are really, really like freakishly spiraling out of control there. It's crazy.
Especially in the valley, right?
No, I don't think the valley's worse than the city.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, the city is still the center of activity, and it's where the real pressure is. I mean, the valley is still there's still room there, and they can still build up and whatnot. But the city just, they're not adding new housing.
It is for condos and single-family homes for rent. It does not include rental apartments.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The median one-bedroom rent, though, is actually it's at $3,500.
Is it $3,500?
Wow. Yes.
That doesn't surprise me. I could have shot in low. 42 does seem a little low for a house there, because there's not that many damn houses for rent there.
It's probably a lot of one-bedroom condos too.
Even then, holy hell, that's the condo properties there. like Manhattan, stupid expensive.
So back to the Tesla thing. Do you think that you think it's good
You're
or
getting
bad?
us off track, Patrick.
Yeah, sorry. Do you think it's good or bad PR for Tesla to buy this? And then how many people are now on how many times are they going to be attacked of, oh yeah, they're taking over the Cylindra, they're just another government Cylindra, it's going to be the same thing. I'm wondering if the PR could go either way.
Now, is it Solar City that bought it, or Tesla, or SpaceX? Who was it, Russell?
Tesla.
Tesla bought it.
And
Tesla
it's
Motors.
near a Solar City facility.
Yes. And excuse me, they're not buying it, they leased it.
From who? A defunct dead company?
I don't know. I would guess the building owner, whoever owned it, was renting.
Right. Yeah, it was probably leased. Cylindra was leasing it. They probably didn't own it either. So.
Except the building had been used by Xerox and Hewlett-Packard in the past. You know what? It's an interesting question, Patrick, and I think that there's a certain portion of the population that's going to be like government motors no matter what.
Yeah, they'll get hated on by their haters, and yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter.
And I think most people are going to, I would hope, but I think most people are probably going to be like, holy shit, somebody's building a factory in the United States? What are they, crazy? You know, and...
You say that, but across the board, I don't hear any negative connotation like that put with Tesla. I've got conservative family members that I talk to about Tesla, and all of them have a very positive viewing of Tesla and don't associate them with, the federal funds that they get or anything like that.
Well, I mean...
Awesome.
What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago that we did the LA Times story that basically raped Tesla?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Any dollar they've ever seen or will see over the next 100 years, all put together in one lump sum.
Right. So, I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad, and I don't even have a problem with federal money being invested in industries that do good, that do the right things.
Yeah, but everybody's definition of the right thing is the things that they like, and not the things they don't, right?
Arguably, yes, absolutely.
Well, Russell, there was other Tesla news that came out this week.
Was there?
The Model 3. Or shall I say, Model 3s.
Oh.
Do you want to tell us more, Danny Cooper?
Maybe I will. There's a Wall Street Journal report that came out that the Model 3 won't be just a sedan, that there will be a crossover version as well. So it seems like the Model S, we're going to get like the baby Model S is going to be the Model 3 sedan, and then the baby Model X is going to be the Model 3 crossover. So potentially in 2017 we might see two cars. I doubt that. I think we'll probably see the sedan first. And then,
just like the S and the X weren't released at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's pretty interesting that we're already hearing about Tesla's like multiple model expansion, which is kind of crazy.
It's odd to think that Tesla might actually be like a full line car company at some point.
Yeah, and I know that this is news to a lot of people, but it's what they've been saying all along. Once they have a frame or a basic design, just like they did with the Model S, that was their Blue Star was the code name for that, and they made multiple bodies out of it, and then Black Star is their Gen 3 platform, and White Star. I don't remember the letters, the names now. It was black, then blue, then white, I think, and they actually have said in the past that when they come out with the Model 3, that same platform is going to be used to make their new Roadster replacement. So they've been talking about having multiple lines of cars for a while.
That Roadster replacement, is that going to be like the Toyota Supra that never comes out that they talk about for years and years?
Never do it.
Yeah.
I think they will. They have a dedicated following of people that bought in early with the Roadsters and have been loyal followers. I think they're going to make sure that they do something for them eventually.
If you're watching this show in high definition, you can see the beads of sweat forming on Danny Cooper's forehead right now. Almost cute.
Yeah, really, the Model 3 is the car that's going to be the big killer for Tesla. Not killer for Tesla, but killer to other companies.
Yeah, the killer app.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
volume. Yeah.
I mean,
If they can build it at 35,000 before discounts, yeah. Yeah, if it's a 200-mile car, 300-mile car, depending on how stripped down it is.
Yeah, they said
well, and
two-wheel
that's
was
the
going to be
question. It's
standard.
like how. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant two wheels. Like you have to buy the other two.
Hey, Russell might finally have a motorcycle he likes.
Oh.
The question I think is like how low end Tesla's willing to go, because the Chevy Bolt is not going to be a Model S level appointed vehicle, right? So is Tesla going to see themselves as a premium electric vehicle company, or do they just see themselves as an electric vehicle company that makes multiple tiers of vehicles? And so is the Model 3 going to be appointed like a Chevy Bolt?
My opinion, I think we're going to see different tiers. I think it will be nice, but I don't think it will be as nice as a Model S or a Model X. I mean, obviously, just the economy of the thing, so maybe it only has a 12-inch touchscreen instead of a 17.
How will we live?
How, I mean, I don't, it's a very good question. And I'm sure that's the issues that they're wrestling with right now is, what are they going to, because it's a complicated process. What do you include? What do you not include? How does it price out? How hard is it to build? How does it affect durability?
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll have a lot of upsell options. Even if the base model's 35,000, okay, that one has two-wheel drive. If you want all-wheel drive, it's another few thousand. If you want, the base model has 220 miles of range, but if you want another 50 miles, you can pay some more. And there'll be a lot of different options, tech packages and other things.
Well, Elon tweeted that the 35K Model 3 is two-wheel drive.
Right.
That all-wheel drive will be more.
And that makes sense.
So, speaking of cars with more, thank you. Green Car Reports, our friend John Volker, and he is our friend. I say that with no irony at all. Our friend John Volker, though, he wrote an article that just makes me want to hug him and kind of pat him on the head. Thank you, John. The headline goes like this. 2016 Toyota Prius coming soon. 55 mpg hybrid to be sportier. I want to tell you, the article is filled with a dozen or so sentences of speculation because Toyota said absolutely nothing about it. To my knowledge, nobody really knows exactly what it's going to be. But let's just kind of unpack this article. This really could have been my 2-minute topic. Predicting that a new generation Toyota Prius is going to have more MPG than the current generation? That's pretty edgy. Predicting that the next generation, if you look at the progression of the Prius and the Prius design, projecting that the next generation of Prius might be a little sportier than the current one? That's going on a limb.
To be fair, that's a low bar.
Oh,
nice!
I like the Prius, but sporty is not a word I would associate with it.
I totally agree, Patrick. I don't think that was uncalled for at all. I just thought it was funny. Like it's going to have a higher MPG and it's going to be sportier. Really? No shit. Have 4 fucking wheels too.
don't forget it's going to be a 2016.
Yeah.
That is other very important news information that people did not have.
Right, 2016 is coming soon, just like winter.
I did find it interesting that Jim Lentz, and I don't really. Okay, I tend to think that I pay attention pretty closely to a lot of the Prius news because it's kind of my job. I don't really get where people were seeing that like the Prius might be delayed, like well into next year. But apparently, that's what a lot of people were thinking until Jim Lentz like gave these quotes. They were at the groundbreaking for an expansion for the Toyota Tech Center in Michigan, and it was after these quotes at this event there was like a flood of articles like the 2016 Prius will actually come in 2016. It was like, oh, it's not back to the drawing board, and what were we looking at like a 10-year cycle on the third gen Prius because that would have been bad. But the other thing that he said was that Lentz said that reports of a 15% improvement in gas mileage were too high. So that's unfortunate. Maybe 14.9. I'll take that.
I mean, isn't 55 in a full size Prius good?
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, if they can do it, I don't know, but I think 10%. Everybody, there's always unreasonable expectations. I mean, the classic one for me is like that third row seat. Oh, I'd love this car, but it doesn't have a third row seating. I'm like, not everybody is the Brady Bunch, okay?
If you want that, buy a minivan.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I just like the idea of like third rows in SUVs. Kind of weirds me out. I don't know. I guess that's maybe because I grew up with station wagons, but I'm old, so who grows up with station wagons anymore?
You're old and you have no one who loves you. So you have no need for 3 rows of people who don't love you.
I'm going to sign off and kill myself now. Thank you.
Well, speaking of killing things, that moves us wonderfully to Honda.
Oh, bam. Nice one.
No. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if that...
For the record, 55 mpg is not impressive. Let's get to 100 before I'm interested. Like an electric car. Ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum.
I'm on a 79 tank right now.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean, it's, I don't know what my percentages are as far as battery versus gas, but anyway, about Honda.
Yeah, what's this about Honda, Danny?
Oh boy. So Honda.
They're killing some things.
They're killing stuff. They're finally getting well, earlier we found out that they got rid of the that shitty Insight thing, right? They killed that thing off earlier this year. Thank God. And now, I'm sorry, Brian Zufall, if you're out there listening, but they have killed off the Civic Hybrid. So I will no longer need to hold on to the registration domain of hchchat.com.
You're kidding me.
I think I had it at one time.
Oh my God, that's so hilarious. I mean, the other fun thing is they're killing their compressed natural gas, their CNG models as well.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Yep.
I mean, I don't know a lot about the CNG cars, but we saw a few of them when we lived like up in what they call Granolaville, which is like the Asheville area, western North Carolina. It's big into like biodiesels and CNG and stuff, and so we saw some of those Civics up there, but that was the only place I've ever seen them. And I still don't know how those people filled them up. I have no idea where they got the gas for them.
You have to go to the compressed natural gas store. It's like filling up a propane tank, you know?
Easy to get to. But they will continue to make Accord hybrids, which aren't selling very well, so it's only a matter of time before they get rid of those. But this kind of made sense because they're about to launch the next generation Civic, so this was kind of the time for them to announce that the HCH was dying. So it actually wouldn't surprise me at all if the next generation Accord does not come in a hybrid model. Honda's just not very good at hybrids.
They haven't really tried very hard.
Well, they do say they're going to try to do plug-in hybrids after 2016.
Well,
So the
they're
hybrid
trying
game's not
plug-in
over.
hybrids now.
Here's the problem with a company that has really bad battery management. I think the last thing I want to stuff more batteries in the car. I want them just to make a good solid hybrid so I get that they understand battery management systems, and then stuff it full of batteries and make a plug-in.
The more I see the new generation Fit, the more I would love to drive one of the little EV Fits.
Yeah. I agree.
Think about it. It doesn't have IMA. That's good news. My apologies to Austin Kinzer if you're listening tonight. I guess he doesn't own his Insight anymore, but.
And IMA in the original Insight was just fine. It worked.
I think he had a second gen
for it, okay? But in anything else, it was horrible, dreadful, painfully bad.
Well, they showed their lack of insight into the market when they made that initial Accord hybrid. Remember how it was like it was your power hybrid?
Yeah.
Right.
That was embarrassing.
Yes.
Shouldn't have done that, guys.
Although Porsche and others are doing it now, but they have a different market.
It's a different market. Yeah,
exactly.
Totally
yeah.
Different.
You talking about the Panamera? I mean,
yeah.
There's a Cayenne too. Isn't there?
There's in the supercar class there are now hybrids and plug-in hybrids in that supercar class, and they blend the motors so that when the gas engine has to shift gears, the electric motor fills in, and they do some really, really cool stuff there.
I tell you, as somebody who's sat in a car line today waiting to pick up my daughter from her preschool sports camp, and it's 102 degrees outside, having a hybrid makes you feel pretty good about yourself that you're not wasting all that gas to blow you out your air conditioning while everyone around you is filling the atmosphere with shit.
Yeah, idling is the worst.
And all their kids are running around in that heat, sucking it in. Yay! Yeah. That's what I think about them idling their cars outside of my house waiting to pick up kids from school in the afternoon. Because literally, it smells. Like, it comes in my windows, and it's like, oh, must be 3 o'clock.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. It's something I won't miss.
I imagine that, like, 20 years ago, you could probably smell it when the school buses would come down the street, and you could smell the diesel.
Yeah, diesels are terrible.
These days, I don't even hear them.
That's that's a suburban thing.
Unless you're getting coal rolled.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll just roll us into our last topic.
Go, Mr. Segway.
Look at that.
I don't even
rolling along.
I don't have a segue to this.
Maybe it is. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, speaking of cars that will soon be canceled, Hyundai has announced, not announced, but I guess they've kind of let it be known that their Tucson fuel cell is sadly below their global sales target. The Korean automaker originally said it was planning to sell 1,000 fuel cells by the end of 2015. So far, it's managed to move about 250 across the world.
It's a huge launch there.
That's 27% success. Yeah.
76 in 2013, 128 in 2014, and 69 for the first 5 months of 2015.
So what happened to all those people that were clamoring for the hydrogen-fueled vehicles?
They're apparently not in South Korea, the U.S., or Europe. So I'm guessing they're like in the middle of Africa.
Hydrogen's everywhere, Danny.
It is.
That's right. Most abundant molecule in the universe.
There's a lot of cow shit in India, right? So they can make a lot of.
There's a lot of cow shit everywhere, my friend. Yeah.
But not a big shock. There are 11 public hydrogen fueling stations in South Korea. only 2 in Seoul, which has more than 10 million people in it. So that'd be like selling gas cars in New York City and only having 2 gas stations.
Oh, that's a brutal comparison.
Yeah.
It just
Or only 2 outlets and you're trying to sell electric vehicles. It's like,
in their home ground. I mean, in South Korea, they sold 29 of these things. 29.
Yeah. They could have given 30 away just to bump the numbers.
they probably did. I'm assuming they're doing what Toyota's going to do with the Mirai, and that's like give away the hydrogen for free to the initial buyers.
They'll have a diesel truck come and bring it to your house. And
Just
then
to
call it
increase
eco-friendly.
the of it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, actually, they have a clown that comes and brings it in balloons.
That's helium, the helium car, not the hydrogen. It's a giant Zeppelin.
It's a giant Zeppelin. I love it. It's Zeppelin. It
Just
just
kind of
follows
floats
the car, and
and then crashes. Takes
Oh,
out some pretty blocks. I just wanted to fill my car.
oh, the humanity. One of 100-year-old tragedies. That's so...
So here's the saddest piece of this news. Hyundai has now delivered more production fuel cell vehicles to retail drivers than any other automaker.
Even more than the Honda Clarity?
Even more than the Honda Clarity.
Wow.
Honda and Toyota included, this article says. So the 250 that they've sold have been more than
That's
anyone else.
bad.
How much press have we seen about these cars that are collectively less than 500 cars? And we've seen a ton of press from these three about.
Wide 500.
Yeah.
Not just the U.S., worldwide.
Well, look at the marketing money that is going behind Toyota's efforts. I mean, they've got Morgan Sportlock, and again, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, Russell. I think this is a long-term play for Toyota. But what's funny is that Hyundai is like kind of, I don't want to say they're distancing themselves from the vehicle, but they're not putting any marketing effort behind the car.
Yeah, clearly. Just same as Honda. Honda hasn't said anything about the Clarity in years.
Hey, they gave one of the first units to Jamie Lee Curtis, and that was enough for me to want one.
You know what? The Clarity's a pretty little car. I don't have a problem with the Clarity. It's nice. It's just, it runs on something I can't get.
What's funny about the Clarity is that they actually did a good job of copying the Prius with the Clarity, and then they did a bad job of copying the Prius with the Insight.
Yes, but IMA.
Oh yeah.
IMA is a curse. IMA worked in one platform, and that was it. It wasn't adaptable like HST was. That's integrated motor assist, which is Honda's original hybrid technology, versus hybrid synergy drive, which is Toyota's hybrid technology, for those of you who don't know what all of those acronyms mean.
I had no idea, so thank you.
We're a show for everyone here.
First timers in the house, raise your hands.
Oh! Ow,
That's hybrid technology. I don't know anything about it.
Can we talk about one more thing?
As long as it's quick.
Do we have the time?
We are pushing an hour.
Okay. You know what? It'll be quick. I'm going to take this as like a late 2-minute topic. San Francisco, the California Labor Commission ruled today.
This is not a quick topic.
It is, and we can talk more about it later, but a huge landmark ruling that Uber drivers are employees, not 1099 contractors. This could change the way Uber and Lyft do business completely, as well as affect every other company in the United States that uses 1099 contractors rather than hiring them as employees. This is a very narrow ruling. Let's be really clear on this. It specifically applies to one person, yes, and they say that. But, of course, when you have one ruling that applies to one person, you can then use that to, brick by brick, possibly make a broader decision.
Right, it becomes case law.
And as much as I dislike Uber, I was just so happy about this. So, hey, right on.
Why don't you like Uber?
Their CEO's a raging asshole.
Oh, okay.
They're a multi-billion-dollar.
Come on, Elon Musk is a raging asshole.
Yeah, no, not like this guy. And they're a multi-billion-dollar inflated startup that has already used their money to pummel other companies as dishonestly and borderline illegally as they can.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of the way they do business at all. I think it's a cool idea, but I hate that whole 1099 model for employing people because it's a way of a company sucking profits out of things and putting all of the onus on the worker to put up all the expenses. It's not something I'm a fan of.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the company, but I do like the idea, and the fact that the company's not screening and hiring specific people, they just allow people to sign up, seems like they're not employees to me, but I haven't been following this case or I don't know much about them.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can go over real quickly. The labor.
Danny said no.
This is just such a. This is something that like tomorrow Russell and I will be on the phone and we will just bitch back and forth at each other about it for an hour.
Will we?
Oh yeah,
Would not be
so I
a
take
quick
it to the
topic.
opposite stand from as you do in this.
Oh, suffice to say, if you're familiar with California labor law, the things that the Labor Commission cited are very, very common things that define an employee in the view of California. So, yeah, this is pretty cut and dried. I'll be surprised if there aren't more of these rulings.
Funny enough, California labor law came into effect with the season finale of Silicon Valley this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just.
Which I haven't watched.
Oh, do you watch it
Spoiler
at
alert.
all?
You know what? I tried. I'm trying.
It's funny. It's very funny.
I know. It's I just you know what? I'm up to like episode 3 of the first season,
Oh.
and I'm not feeling it. I'm having a really hard time.
The first season, they really play off of like the technical jokes, like the I'm a dorky coder kind of jokes.
Yeah.
And by the middle of the season, I think they start to move past that a little bit after you have a little bit of character development.
I'm a guy who has to I have to relate to a character. I have to like somebody. Or there has to be lots of shit blowing up. Didn't we have Game of Thrones? It's like, if I don't like anybody, then just blow lots of shit up and it's cool. Like, I love Jurassic Park. Dinosaurs eating humans. I don't care about the characters. They're just dinosaurs eating humans. That's great, man. 60.
They're just chum.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, that's great.
Patrick, do you watch Silicon Valley?
I watched the first episode and then it just made me sad that I missed out on that era and didn't become a multimillionaire, so I quit.
Exactly.
I can feel you, brother. I can feel you.
Well, you and your stock mind might take you there.
That's true. Maybe we need to do a stock show with Patrick.
There you go.
It's
Buy some. Buy the good ones.
Start-
Don't buy the bad ones. There you go.
start
That's my
sending out
stock advice.
Patrick's stock alerts via text message to all of our listeners for free.
I had a 50-50 shot every time, and that's better than Jim Cramer. So.
Thing's better than Jim Cramer.
All right. Well, we can talk more about the Uber thing later because it actually is, it's transportation related. So.
Oh yeah, very much so.
They've had some legal battles with Portland recently too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I think this will be a fun as it develops. I think it'll be a fun topic to talk more about. Right now, it's one narrow case, it's one interesting case, and it could be huge. It might just fade away into nothing. You can guarantee that Uber is already spending millions of dollars having all those judges in the Labor Commission killed.
You remember what else was?
Or they could just appeal, or murder.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of mysterious deaths in California very soon.
Hey, and if shit starts blowing up, Russell will get really interested fast. He loves that.
Make a reality show out of it. Uber strikes back.
Dun dun dun.
Oh yeah. No, the kid's taking me to a movie for Father's Day, and it's like Avengers or Jurassic Park. Oh, who blows up more stuff? I don't know.
There might be more destruction in Mad Max.
No.
Oh.
No interest in Mad Max.
Oh, it's good.
I know. I hated the other movies. I hated them. And I get it. Like, it's not my thing. It's like people are more than, it's just not my thing.
It's a 2-hour car chase
Not my thing.
with fire. There's a guy playing the guitar, and when he plays the guitar, fire comes out of the edge of it.
Guy with a garden spade welded to his face. Okay,
I like the Mario Kart mashup version.
That was funny. That was good.
stupid. No, I can't. No. I mean, again, I would spoil no one's pleasure in Mad Max. It's just not my thing.
Well, fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did.
When
I saw it by myself.
When I go and enjoy Jurassic Park, people will make fun of me. I'll be like, okay, it's cool. You know, I just like big lizards biting people. Okay. We got to end this show, okay?
We do, or we're just going to talk about pop culture.
Yeah, it's going to be 10:30, and we're going to do nothing but talk about movies for the last half hour. And you know what? That'll be the one where people like go, I love the movie talk. Why don't you do more of
You
that?
guys should totally change the topic of the show. It sucks when you talk about cars.
Cars, but you should talk about movies.
What did Elon Musk go to see this week?
Your friend Zufall right now is punching himself in the face.
Make it stop.
Why me? Why me?
Yeah, first I killed his poor Honda Civic this week, and now I'm trying to take his topic.
Ah, he is the movie guy.
Yeah. Well, let's end this thing before it gets off the
Let's go have a life.
Yeah.
Not that we don't love doing this, but you know, it's an hour. I'm tired.
Patrick, do you have any Portlandia shout-outs tonight?
Sure, yeah. I blog at carswithcords.net. That's .net. And I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. Thanks.
OEVA rocks. If you don't follow them on Twitter or on Facebook, you should. And that's all I'm going to say.
And now on Pinterest.
I've said Pinterest?
Ooh.
These are crafting stuff?
Patrick must have bought some stock in them, so he had to participate in it.
Here's a new OEVA nail pattern. Yay! You know what? I really liked Pinterest. I hated the way they interacted with their users, but I really liked the service, and that's why I got rid of it. But Pinterest is cool.
It is cool. It is cool. I can't wait to see what OEVA comes up with that you can make out of a wood pallet or something.
Yeah.
Make your own EV out of a wood pallet.
This week, upcycling hubcaps.
There was a story about paper origami batteries recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Origami batteries. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm Danny Cooper. You can find me at PriusChat.com. If you are a Prius owner, you can check out the Prius Chat shop, PriusChat.com/shop. We're adding some new products lately, so check that out. There's a bunch of cool stuff that's being added. We're very excited about it. Yeah, so check that out. And still coming this summer, you might be hearing about a few new Danny Cooper-owned Prius Chat-related properties.
Is it going to be moviechat.com?
It's gonna Silicon Valley HBO TV show chat.com.
There's no trademark infringement there.
Not at all.
Run with that.
Just stuffing those keywords in there.
Nice. My turn?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, my name's Russell Frost still. You can't find me anywhere on the net, so don't bother looking.
You're a ghost, that's for damn sure.
I'm a ninja. But you can see some of my work at whatdrives.us. You can download our show or stream it from there in audio or video version. So as well as getting What Drives Us through iTunes and through Stitcher and through several other pod-related apps. So please do that. If you do use an app to download us and you get a chance to review us, please do so. We'd love that. As always, I want to thank Michael Mannering for our theme music. You can find him at manthing.com. Not that anyone ever does, but you can call and leave a comment at 575-51 Drive.
I'm surprised Tony didn't call.
That's 575-51 Drive. And we'd love to hear from you because we're lonely people and we need the attention. I think that's it for me. Are you wrapping this up, Cooper, or am I?
You're rapping.
I'm wrapping it up.
So I screwed up like 99 out of 100 times. So.
Okay. Well, as always, thanks to all the listeners. Thanks to Danny Cooper. Yay, Danny Cooper.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay, Patrick Connor.
Thank you
for coming on the show. And thank each and every one of you for watching and or listening. Download us next week and find out what drives us.